Welcome to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, of course, presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. Also brought to you by MoDOT, Save Mo Lives, Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake, Price and Randall, Injury Attorneys, and Lake Expo Real Estate, lakeexpo.com. We are here in Camdenton on the practice field, home of the Lakers. Did you get the middle of the field fixed yet? Somebody came out and did donuts on the middle of the field.
Yeah, it's not repaired yet, but we're in the process. We've got the restitution. All is good in that front, so it'll be back to normal soon.
It'll be interesting. Well, I'd like to see how that investigation is going there. Somebody's going to have to pay for that probably. So, okay, big game Friday night against a great Helias team. They went to the state championship game last year. That team, I went and looked up their ranking, and I was shocked to find out they're not ranked in the top 10 in Class 6. That's a bit surprising.
Yeah, it was surprising to me because I think they're as good a team as we've seen in the 11 years that I've been here, really because they're outstanding in all three phases, special teams, defense, offense. They're a very good team, and they should have a continued success.
I would agree with that. I would be really surprised if they don't go a long ways in the playoffs. In Class 6, it's hard to figure, though, sometimes. You got the bigger schools, and most of them coming out of St. Louis and Kansas City, so kind of hard to know how good they are. So it's been a rough season for you guys so far. How's the team handling it? Are they sticking together?
Yes, I was proud of the way we played. The scoreboard was not near anything that we wanted, but I was proud of the way that we competed on really in all the phases of the game, and asking guys that are a little inexperienced or young to go in there and give everything they had, and they did, and our older guys did the same. And that was one of our things during the week, was compete regardless of our circumstance. Our circumstance was not where we wanted it to be on Friday, but our guys competed.
Absolutely. You know, the whole idea behind high school sports is not necessarily the wins and losses, although those are nice when you get them.
For sure.
But it's, learning life lessons, and you might be able to learn more life lessons trying to figure out how to lose than how to win, right? Winning's easy.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Handling winning's easy. Winning is hard to get to, right? But also when you're really like where we're at, 0-4, it's a tough place to be when no one expected to be there, a year ago or 6 months ago. But now the key is, what do you do about it? How do you respond? How do you get yourself back on track and just continue to improve? Because our district is sort of wide open. I think it's one of those situations, even though we're on the lower end of the district, we've got an opportunity, if we continue to improve, to be really competitive and win some games as we get to districts.
Absolutely. Big week in Camdenton this week, homecoming week, right? So do you remember any of your homecoming games? You won a state championship when you were playing as a senior in '86, I believe, right? So do you remember any of your homecoming games back in high school?
I remember our senior year, we played Bishop Hogan, which is Hogan Prep now, and I'm not even sure if they're still open, but they came down and played in a rainy game, and I was actually injured the week before, and I was actually able to get back and play that game. And so I remember that. Homecoming has really evolved, across high school football. I don't think it was nearly as prominent, at least in my eyes, whenever we were playing. It was an opportunity to go out and play, and we just really valued those. And so homecoming is great because it was a big crowd.
It's amazing how over the years, things like homecoming or senior night and all these things, they're a big production now. Back in the day, they were just kind of a little bit smaller. People might come back, they might not. So we'll talk more about homecoming week and the matchup with Battle. Ought to be a really good game, and it's right here on Lake TV Friday night as Camdenton is at home to Battle. We'll talk more about that when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
What's like and follow?
Phones are very distracting. Which is why Missouri now has a law against holding a phone while driving.
Dude, what are you doing? You can't hold your phone while driving.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Buckle up.
At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers pediatrics at 2 lake locations and 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic, offering same-day appointments. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone, whether you live at the lake or just here visiting. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. We're here on the Camdenton Lakers practice field. Homecoming week, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. There's a whole lot surrounding that. But you've got Battle in on Friday night, a Battle team that has struggled. They come in 0-4. What has been their struggle this year?
I think it's being able to put a series together or a quarter together. You see flashes on film of them playing really good defense, very physical up front. Their defensive line is really, really good. And then being able to be consistent on offense. They've kind of switched back and forth between a spread offense and a two-back offense. And so last week they were primarily a spread offense. And so I think they're trying to find that identity.
Yep.
And find out what's going to be the best opportunity to score.
It's an interesting history between these two schools, Camdenton and Battle. You're in the same conference now as of last year, so you play them more now. But you've had some great battles over the years. There was a year when the Lakers and Battle played for
2014 district championship.
And the winner of that game had the inside track to win the state championship, and Battle ended up winning that game. They ended up winning the state championship.
Yeah. They had a magic season that year, and we came up 8 points short in that game, and so that was one of those things that you definitely remember, because it was really two good teams, and we knew whoever could get the advantage in that district championship would have like you said, the inside track to be able to get to the state championship and hopefully win it. So
there's been a couple of those years, and recently I remember a couple of Webb City games where the winner of that game, like it was always in the sectional championship, winner of that one had the inside track to win in state. And unfortunately, Webb City won a couple of those, but those were great games. So what are you guys going to have to do Friday night on offense to outscore Battle?
We're going to have to be able to run the ball effectively in a lot of different ways. In maybe perimeter runs, might be inside runs. We got to be able to throw the ball. That's been a good thing for us as we've gotten to this part of the season. We're getting better and more efficient in the passing game. So I think that'll be one of the things that we want to try to get established as well.
And on defense, since they've been switching around doing different things, what are you going to have to do on defense?
We got to be prepared. Because we don't know what we're going to see as it comes into Friday. So we're going to have to be prepared for both styles, and then put pressure on them. I think that's one of the things that we have got to do every week is put pressure on the offensive line and try to create some mismatches.
Absolutely. So it's homecoming week. Other than the game Friday night, what else is going on during the week? You got a parade at some point, and what else do you have going on?
Yeah, we've got a big parade. We've got a homecoming assembly at the stadium. That was what we started doing that last year, and that was an amazing thing. We got almost the whole district here for that. The parade is awesome, going through our campus and seeing all the different kids and all the different levels. Yeah. And then we've got Spirit Week as the week goes on. Kids get to dress up and do some crazy stuff at school.
Oh, that's fun. It's funny, and there are so many former Camdenton players that are still in the area. It's like every week is homecoming for you because you're hanging out with some of your buddies from high school. Yeah,
it's awesome. In our staff, we've got guys that are Lakers through and through that graduated here. We got people in administration. We have teachers. We have it's our community, and so it's a nice place to be able to have that support system.
One of the great things about Camdenton Lakers sports. So coming up next on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, we'll head over to Osage, talk with Coach Shannon Jolly about their big game Friday night.
Lake life starts here. At Lake Expo Real Estate, we know that buying or selling a lakefront property is more than just a transaction. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter that we strive to make easy, from listing to closing. In a competitive market, we showcase your property to the masses online with LakeExpo.com, returning unmatched visibility. And if you're ready to buy that lake house, our team lives and breathes the lake lifestyle, so we know what this chapter is all about. At Lake Expo Real Estate, we believe in community, cherishing those lasting memories, and helping make your lake dream a reality. Check us out online to find lake properties, No logins, no distractions, just pure, unfiltered lake views and options. Lake Expo Real Estate, where we are ready to be a part of your next chapter.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. You can see we've made our way here to Osage, home of the Indians. Coach Shannon Jolly, you come off a big win Friday night. Boy, winning sure makes everything better, doesn't it?
On the outside, it can.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the underlying things are still there when the dust settles. But no, it's always a good weekend at the Jolly House when it's followed by a W. So it's all good.
Absolutely, especially when it comes in a big rivalry game like it was against Eldon Friday night. You guys win going away 50-12, and not just a win and not just a rivalry win, but a big win in the district too. They were actually in front of you in the district race going into that game, and so you leapfrog right over them. Yeah,
and I think the other part is when it comes down to district play and seeding, the head-to-head matchup matters at the end. So if a team's in front of you and you've beaten them, you flip them from head-to-head. Mm-hmm. So it does matter, but we just needed to play well, and although we had a couple missteps, I thought our kids played really well. Yeah, absolutely. You jumped out to a big early lead, and you just kind of cruised from there. You never let up. Looked like your guys were ready to go. Yeah, I think coming off of it's kind of a broken record, but when you come off of a loss like that to Blair Oaks, where what could have been a better game wasn't, we talk about it all the time. Losing a game is not the worst feeling, but losing a game that you possibly could have won or you feel like you could have won is. Yeah. There's a difference between losing and knowing you got beat. Second is knowing that you probably should have done more. So we talk about that a lot, and I think that's where our kids were at. And it's funny, I mean, I've got to talk to you every week for the last 4 or 5 years in between games. I still remember the games you felt like you should have won that you lost, and it still kind of sticks in your craw. So it is funny with coaches how that happens. What were you especially pleased with on Friday night in the win? I think we were able to do different things on offense. I think we were more balanced in the passing game and the running game. They did some things defensively that they were going to commit and kind of sell out, if you will, and not everybody understands that. But like in basketball, you hear about like boxing one and things like that. They just put a lot of guys in certain spots to make sure we weren't going to do some things and challenge us to do other. Yeah. And fortunate for us, we were able to take advantage of that. And so it worked out well that we threw the ball pretty well. The old Bill Belichick thing of try to make the other team play left-handed, try to take their superstar away and make them do something else. And that's kind of what Eldon tried to do. What did you not like Friday night that you want the team to work on? I don't know. I still don't think we were aggressive enough. I think we got more aggressive as we got up. But to start the game, I felt like we were still feeling our way through a little bit. And that's been a point of contention that we've talked about. It's kind of like kicking the door down instead of opening it and walking through it. And we just haven't quite, in my opinion, got to that point yet. How do you get to that point? How do you teach the guys to have that attitude, or can they learn that? Is it just like a part of who they are? Well, I think they learn it by losing too. Yeah. I mean, when you lose 42-6 to Blair Oaks, I mean, that's makes you want to kick the door down a little bit more next time. But it also depends on who you're playing and the talent, and there's just a lot of things. It's just more of a mental approach of, you brought up Bill Belichick, but you want to prepare the same way no matter what team you're facing, try to play at the highest level, and we're still working on that. And our kids have done a great job. It's just us now trying to get the extra stuff. Can you build a team to be playing their best ball toward the end of the year? Is that possible? Yeah, you just have to be honest about it. Like losing to Blair Oaks is a tragedy. Like, we didn't want to get beat by 42-6, but if it allows us to become better at the end of the season, but you have to talk about it, and you've got to be willing to say, hey, it's not what we wanted, but it's not the end of the world. Right. And sometimes you have to strategically do things during games, especially lopsided games, that might help you later on. And so there's a lot that goes into that. Absolutely. And a guy that's been around as long as you have, I mean, like 30 years or so of being a head coach, you kind of learn how to do that over the years, I'm guessing. So Friday night, another big battle right here at home, I think, against California. So we'll take a look at that matchup, the game Friday night, when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture. We're in the middle of our Labor Day sale. That means we've got lots of great deals, lots of discounts, and wonderful financing options. Tempur-Pedics, Stearns & Foster's, we've got you covered, up to $800 off, and 72 months interest-free financing. Don't forget, we deliver the entire lake area, so come check us out at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
Competing on the field requires hard work.
It also requires effort and making good choices, which carries over off the field.
Like good choices behind the wheel of your car. Did you know that a driver is 20 times more likely to be in a serious accident if texting and driving?
Last year alone, 104 people were killed in Missouri from distracted driving.
So keep leading the statistics. Don't become one.
Buckle up, phones down. This Drive Safe, Boat Safe reminder brought to you by Price & Randall Injury Attorneys.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. Coach Shannon Jolly, the Osage Indians, really good this year, ranked in the top 10, Class 3. One of the favorites here midway through the season to have a shot maybe at a Final Four. So you're back at home Friday night, another rivalry game, conference foe, California. California comes in 0-4. What has been their struggle this year?
Well, I think, in watching, I don't know what their complete struggles are, for the year, but I think they've got some inexperienced players that have had to step up and play. And I know Coach Grubbs has done a great job. If you remember, I think it was last year, the year after, they made a run in their district and do a lot of good things. So, it's just momentum is everything. And sometimes the things don't work out in your favor. And it's tough to keep everybody, not only parents, community members, and everybody up when times aren't very good. So, I've kind of reached out to Coach and visited with him last week and encouraged him. And I know their kids, the California kids are tough kids and they always play hard. So that's exactly how we're approaching it.
Yeah, so you've talked with Coach Grubbs. It's a small community, isn't it? The coaching community, it's a small world. You guys know each other, but you fairly well, I'm guessing, from over the years.
Yeah, I don't know Kenny like that, but I have been on the other side of it. And sometimes when you feel like you're on an island, sometimes it's nice for somebody to reach out. I mean, Coach Grubbs is a great coach, and I know some of their coaches on staff and the guys that were there previously, and I know they're working their butts off. Sometimes the timing isn't always where it needs to be, but don't let that fool you. They're a talented football team.
Yeah.
And I think California could come over here and beat us. It's just something we never underestimate our opponent, but we are aware of the situation.
And it's kind of funny where you've got schools, programs, kids that are tough every year. Whether it doesn't matter what the record is. California is one of those programs. Those kids, they'll come in and hit you in the nose.
Always, and that's been a history for them. And so we got a lot of respect for them. And I think it's going to be a great football game. I definitely don't think it's going to be an easy contest by any means.
What would you like to see your offense do Friday night?
I'd like to see us control the line of scrimmage a little bit. We have really good offensive line play. Our execution, I think, is pretty good. But just, being a little bit more violent up front and a little bit more aggressive is something that we're preaching this week.
And how about on defense? What would you like to see your defense step up with this week?
Well, just kind of the same thing, an overall more aggressive approach. Maybe some more aggressive tackles and sure-handed tackles and not so much arm tackling, but bigger hits and being more physical.
Yeah. Is that the key to tackling is, they talk about wrapping up or they talk about hitting hard. What's the key to tackling?
You'd have to ask somebody else because from back when I played and back in there, they didn't seem to talk about tackling very much.
Yeah.
And everybody could tackle. But now we have every donuts that we roll. We have this. We have roll tackles. We have all these different things that go along with tackling. And so I really don't know. You'd have to ask somebody. But I know back in the day they didn't talk about it as much, and nobody really had that much problem tackling.
Right.
I think it goes into player safety, too. I think there's been an emphasis for that.
That is a part of it. Coach Shannon Jolly, home against California Friday night. So that is your COMC High School Football Coaches Show presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center and also brought to you by MoDOT, Save Mo Lives, Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake, Price & Randall Injury Attorneys, and Lake Expo Real Estate, lakeexpo.com.